Welcome to Sonoff Local Control Guide. Let's install Domoticz first. As we already have installed Domoticz, installation will proceed and you will not see this notification. This is the first notification you will see during Domoticz installation. Choose preferred access type among HTTP and HTTPS. Use space key to select, tab key to move cursor and enter key to proceed further. Change desired port or leave it as it is. You can change the installation directory in which Domoticz will be installed. Wait a minute to let the script install Domoticz. Congratulations, Domoticz has been successfully installed. Note down the HTTP and HTTPS access URLs. Domoticz will not work out of the box on Raspbian Stretch because of missing dependencies. So let's install the dependencies first. You can find the code under Domoticz Sonoff Local Control Guide. Link is given under description below. Now reboot the Raspberry Pi and wait a minute to boot it up. And welcome to Domoticz dashboard. Let's tune Domoticz to make it ready for the work. Configure MQTT according to our broker credentials. Choose MQTT Client Gateway with LAN interface under Type. Remote address is the IP address of Raspberry Pi running MQTT broker. Enter the MQTT port, username, and password according to your MQTT broker credentials. Click on Add and a new hardware will be added with the name of MQTT. Domoticz have built-in support for different Raspberry board sensors such as temperature. You may add a new hardware type by selecting motherboard sensors in the same way. We added MQTT gateway. As our main purpose is to control our Sonoff switches. Add a new dummy virtual switches hardware type. Domoticz supports various types of dummy switches which will be linked to our actual Sonoff devices to control them. Let's create our first dummy switch. Give it a name and choose appropriate type. For example, we'll control a Sonoff Smart light bulb in this particular example using a switch. Our switch has been created. Let's check out Switches tab. We can find detailed information under devices such as device name, IDX number, type, etc. Here we can see our supported sensors for motherboard sensor type. Add Raspberry Pi CPU temperature to temperature tab of Domoticz, where we can monitor our Raspberry Pi server internal temperature. We can display switches and sensors to our favorite, which will display under one dashboard by clicking star icon present on each switch or sensor. That's the basic introduction of using Domoticz. Now let's go to our main task of linking a switch to our Sonoff device. Note down the IDX number which will be used to link a particular light switch to our Sonoff Smart. Open the web page of Sonoff device by visiting the IP address. Consult your Wi-Fi router's guide to find out the IP address of connected devices. Configure MQTT settings if you have not done it before. Save the changes and wait for the device to reboot. Now we'll configure Domoticz settings under Sonoff Tasmota. Input the IDX number we already noted from Domoticz dummy switch device information, under IDX1 field, and save the changes. Device will reboot in few seconds. Let's test our switch whether it turns our Sonoff Smart on and off. And it's working. See how easy it was to connect Sonoff Tasmota firmware with Domoticz dashboard. We can add many other devices in the same way. Just create a dummy switch, note its IDX number and feed the IDX number under Domoticz configuration in Sonoff Tasmota. Domoticz also supports iOS and Android apps. We'll discuss it in our future video. So stay tuned.